There's a lot of work to do around here today. We're getting a bunch of buildings delivered. They're starting off with a greenhouse. We're getting a small chick building dropped off, a screened-in room's coming, and then finally our Airbnb is going to be dropped off in the big oaked wooded area. This homestead's really starting to grow.
I like the bright colors, and so the red and white was an obvious choice.
Yeah, that was a special barn color order, wasn't it?
Yeah, what was the color called?
Cherry red or something?
Something like that. It was a cute name.
These guys set in the buildings, they were just pros. He had this little two-wheel drive forklift, and it would just drag the building right into place. Didn't even have a problem with the sand getting stuck in it. He was able just to wiggle right out. There's a great view of the screened-in room set up, but now we got to start getting water installed to everything. So after we get the greenhouse set here, we're going to start running water to all the different buildings. There's the chick barn coming off the truck.
I was impressed at how easy this guy made it all look.
It just effortlessly pushed it off.
Yeah, you didn't see that last time, huh?
That's what you get when you hire the right people.
Yeah, it sure is. And he's just going to drop it off, pull forward a little bit, and it's going to be set up after we... Well, they still got to move it with a little forklift, but it's pretty close to its final destination.
This building, we didn't intend to really get right away, but since they had a tornado special, we went and looked at the buildings, and
there's just a little damage on the front porch thanks to the tornado. It wasn't bad at all, so it made for a good discount. We weren't really planning to build the cabin right now, but it just kind of happened that way.
My greenhouse, the only thing that I wanted more custom, so it has Trex deck inside.
Yeah, the built-in fan's nice. You can adjust the temperature, and it just keeps it a little cooler in there, although it's still pretty hot, this being Florida in the summer. That greenhouse is cooking. So now the goal is we got to get water to all the different buildings. So we're going to start over at the greenhouse, run over to the chick barn and right past the well, and then we'll be running out to the brand new screened room so we can have a main water line to all of these different spots. So I've got the plow on the back of the Kubota B2650. I'm just going to run a shallow trench. You know, this is warm weather country, so I don't have to worry about freezing here. So this is about an 18-inch trench that we're going to run over to all the different buildings.
I was excited to get water to all the buildings.
Yeah, there's nothing like having utilities right there at each one of the locations, and you never know what future use you're going to have for those. I just ran a 3/4 inch PEX line and then teed off it. This came right off of my well. And so I had to buy a couple hundred feet of this. It wasn't too bad a price. We'll go ahead and tee this off over to the screen room and over to the greenhouse area. So go ahead and hook this hose bib up right next to the new chick barn area. Another hose bib done. And now this stuff likes to tangle up on you a little bit, but you know, you let it sit out in the sun, it will uncoil. They're backing up to the greenhouse. I got the box blade on. I'm gonna go ahead and start smoothing this all out. Got to get some extra dirt just because I want to build it up in some areas. There were some low spots out here before. So I've got a spot over by the screen-in room where I'm digging out dirt, just kind of robbing it. And we're gonna smooth it back out over here to get these humps out of here. So this red building, it's a small building we bought from the same people. But it's going to be our main chicken barn, whether we're keeping supplies in there. Some of the bobwhite quail might be in there once they come into the aviary. This whole area we're going to fence off, put a couple chicken coops in here. Yeah, as I'm putting in this hose bib connection here, you can really get a 360-degree view of the whole property right from the screened room. And then the long-term plan is to put in a garden area around this, along with a patio and an area to barbecue. So having water out here will be nice to wash down equipment or water the flowers. This water line came from a pre-existing project. We ran water down here to prepare for trees and other planting activities. I use a little wash down station right here where the cars are. So we were able just to tee off of that existing water, and this is all just buried shallow. I don't have to worry about frost here. You know, we used to live in Alaska, and no matter how deep you buried the water line there, it was going to freeze unless you used a pump to keep the water moving continuously underground. The frost was able to penetrate. But here in Florida, we only get a couple days of freezing weather every year, so we don't really have to worry about it. So I've had a lot of comments about it, you know, if your system's going to freeze or if you're going to have problems with frost. And part of the system already went through last year's winter, if you can call it winter here in Florida. And there was a day or two it got down to freezing, but it had no effect on my plumbing. With the breaker plow on, it makes quick work of this soft soil. There's nothing but sand here, no rocks to speak of, so as fast as I can drive, I'm able to put down a trench. What do you think of the lack of rocks in Florida?
It's amazing for anything that we have to put in the ground. It's just wonderful to be able to dig with no rocks.
You know, something else we didn't have in Alaska was snakes. There were no snakes at all in that state. And so we come down here, there's a lot of snakes on our property. And one of the ones we encounter all the time, well, really you encounter, is the eastern coach whip, because I rarely see a snake, but it seems like every time you mow, you see one. You want to talk about that?
It seems whether I'm mowing or driving, I'm the one that's seeing them. They're quick. I was quite amazed, because I've never been around snakes, how quick they actually move, and how intelligent they are. One ran and went into a hole, turned around, and popped his head back out and looked at me.
And the eastern coach whip snake isn't venomous, so he's nothing to worry about. They are about 5 feet long, but they're just going after vermin, so we've been leaving them alone, they've been leaving us alone.
I usually go the opposite direction. Same way they're going in an opposite direction of me. Both running.
You had a snake attack the Kubota once, didn't you, when we were out mowing?
I did, but he was not a coach whip. I forget what he's called.
A black racer snake.
Yes. I think I was mowing and may have disturbed or been close to a nest or something. I was close to something he didn't want me to be. And he came out and he attacked the tire of the tractor. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And so I kind of slowed down because I'm still afraid, even in a tractor, that they could somehow get up in there. And so I kept moving, and he followed me for quite a while, attacking the tire and acted like he was chasing me off.
Eventually,
He was.
eventually you just had to drive away from him, huh?
I did, and I left that area alone for a very long time.
Because he just kept attacking the tractor. It was, once again, it's a non-venomous snake, but he had an attitude.
He was not happy. Whatever I was near, he didn't like it. Or maybe he was like, this one's scared of me. She'll run away.
Run away!
Totally fine with that. I left him alone. He left me alone. We were cool.
Better than getting beat up by the helicopter with the barbed wire.
Yeah, that was a little more dramatic. It looked beautiful where all the barbed wire took out the weeds, but it was not a fun ride.
If you haven't seen that short, you need to check that out. Amanda was heading through the forest and found some barbed wire, unfortunately, and it was not ours. It had been there from the previous owner. It's just buried. And it got wrapped right around the bush hog. So that short's got more than 500,000 views now.
Yeah, but that was me. And for those that don't know, I did take it off myself because I was truly trying to take it off before my husband seen it. But I was ratted out by my kids, and so they all had a good time.
So now I've got a 3/4 PEX line to each of the buildings.
Water.
We're finally going to finish up this project, make sure everything's pressurized and turned on okay.
Water. Let the water flow near the new screen room.
So we've got water flowing out. I'm going to let this purge for a little bit, and we'll see you next time.